Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the DUSwimDive Podcast. I'm your host, Senior Captain Andrew Rodriguez. Before we get into the show, let's take a second to honor this week's Senior Spotlights. This week's Senior Spotlights are Ian Vandergraff and today's guest, Karianne Reinertsen. Ian is a computer science and software engineering major from Wilmette, Illinois, and he swims distance freestyle. He says, "I've enjoyed every second of being a part of this team. Even though my time here is ending, I know I will be a part of this team forever." Kari is an econ and finance major from Bergen, Norway, who also swims distance freestyle, and she says, "I'm grateful for my time on this team and all the amazing people I've met since coming here. Excited for my last season as a Drury Panther and to see what we can accomplish together. Both have been NCAA individual qualifiers and great additions to the Drury swimming family. This past weekend, your Panthers competed in the annual Drury Invite against Lindenwood, William Jewell, and Maryville. Drury swimmers recorded 39 individual NCAA B cuts, 2 new pool records, and the team had a whole lot of fun. I especially love seeing the freshmen perform as well as they did, so let's take a look back at a few of them and see what they said were their goals at the beginning of the semester.
I'm Ashling Allen and I'm from Fayetteville, Arkansas.
I'm Kirsten Lee and I'm from Boulder, Colorado.
My name is Josiah Keene and I'm from Anchorage, Alaska.
I'm Christian Travis, I'm from Normal, Illinois.
My name is Sean Wood and I'm from Wausau, Oklahoma.
I'm Nathan Moore from Parma, Idaho.
My name is Lauren McDougald and I'm from Kansas City.
My name is Daria Wozniak and I am from Salt Lake City, Utah.
You guys are all like such hard workers and fast too.
Everyone is super approachable. I mean, when you visit and you see all these big guys who are like, oh, like, maybe they wouldn't want to talk to me or, offer me tips, and everyone's just, coming up to me saying hi or offering me advice. It's really awesome.
Everyone's super friendly. They all want to get faster and lift each other up and get better, and I love it.
It's kind of a different work ethic here than what I've been doing on my club team, and that's pretty exciting.
I'm just excited to see what my times will be like at the end of the year because it's been a long time with COVID since I've had a real meet.
Well, I'd like to recover so that I have a full enough season because I know I'm going to be missing a couple of meets. So that might be difficult to come back from, but I'm hoping that I can still, make conference and score a conference and maybe even nationals. I'd also like to get more comfortable lifting because I've never done it before, so.
I really just want to improve this year. I've kind of been at a flat plateau for a while, so just really excited to improve.
This year, I really want to go under 56 and 100 breaststroke. And then I want to kind of make my dolphin kick competitive at the moment. I've got some flexibility and mobility to work on.
I would like to be sub 2 in the 200 breaststroke, maybe 56 in the 100. See if I can try to break 4 in the 4 IM. And I'd like to try to make it to nationals too.
I'm just excited to get to know everyone and get faster as the year progresses.
I really don't know my potential yet, so I guess I just want to be able to race, kind of like I've never raced before.
Oh, gotcha. And would you like to say hi to your parents?
Yes. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I'm not dead yet. Can I say that?
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. And hi, Doug.
Hello. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Hi, Anna. Hi, Micah.
Hi Mom, hi Dad.
Hi Mom, hi Dad. I miss you guys, miss Allie. Miss all the cats and dogs, so anyways.
Hi Mom and Dad. Hi Mom and Dad. What's up?
Hi Mom, hi Dad.
Now let's move on to today's special guest, Senior Captain Karianne Reinertsen, to talk a little bit about her experience adjusting as an international swimmer and her thoughts as a captain as we look forward to the Midseason Swim Meet that your Panthers will be competing at in Dallas, Texas. So how are we feeling so far?
Well, pretty good. I'm excited we started taper.
Yeah, best time of the year, taper time. How are you feeling with Doug's taper?
You see, I always need a tiny bit more taper than a typical distance swimmer. But I find that as long as I communicate well with Doug, then it usually works out. So it's just about like talking to him, making sure that I don't push it too much.
Yeah, gotcha. How did you feel about your competition over this past weekend at the Drury Invite?
I thought it went surprisingly well. I think a lot of people did really well. It was a really fun meet. I think it's always one of the most fun meets of the year, and it was really fun watching the freshmen swim really fast for the first time. So that was fun.
I'll definitely say that was a highlight for me. I loved seeing people like Cameron and Christian pop off and do really well. A lot of the freshmen did really well, and that's always good to see, because sometimes when people are getting recruited going into a new program, there's always the fear of whether or not you'll adapt soon enough, or if maybe you don't do well at your first meet, it's like, oh, am I really in the right place or anything? And some people let that kind of get to them. And it's good to see that these guys, didn't let any of that get to them, and they were able to have a good meet this past meet. I really liked seeing the entire team vibe this past week. It was great. I think a lot of people were having a lot of fun, which was kind of a contrast to, I think, the last meet that we had, just because we were so tired. However, I think the work that we put in for those 2 weeks really shone in this past week, and I think it's going to really show when we go through our taper.
I think because we had so much illness in the beginning of the semester.
And
then once we were done with that sinus infection that kind of hit the whole team, we really we worked very hard for a lot of weeks. And I think that during Lindenwood, we were extremely tired because we were putting in that work. And this was the first weekend where we could actually see the results of that hard work. And I think that was really exciting.
So what are you looking forward to going into this midseason meet then?
I'm always excited to see the freshman race tapered for the first time, especially the internationals, just because going in when you're an international, you only have converted times. So you don't really know how it's going to be. Some people end up swimming faster than their converted time. Some people have to maybe take longer to get adjusted to yards. So I'm excited to see that. And then I'm also excited, of course, for my own racing and for everyone else's racing.
What was the most difficult factor for you of the ones that you had mentioned when you came here and started competing?
I have never raced with no rest before. Like my first semester here, I would race being extremely tired, and I had never done that before. So that, in addition to it being yards, I was very convinced that the program wasn't working for me because I was swimming so slowly.
So for every meet, you would rest a little?
Yeah, when I was in Norway, I would. I would never go to a meet and swim in a swimsuit and be tired. It's just we don't have that many meets.
Yeah.
So we just build our season differently.
See, that's like polar opposite to what I did. Like my coach would make me race in a drag suit.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. She would make me throw a drag suit over my Speedo, and I'd race tired and I'd have to race in a drag suit. But yeah, that's interesting. So how was then the conversion to yards? Would you say you swam more short course meters or long course meters?
I swam for most of my life. I swam short course meters. And then when I started high school, we just got a new long course pool that was connected to my high school. So I trained mostly long course meters, but I was always better in short course.
Do you think that helped you then going into yards?
Oh, definitely. I think the international swimmers who prefer long course tend to struggle a bit more going into yards than the ones who really like short course.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I come to think about it, I remember some people that we had on the team that would come in and really loved long course, and they would kind of struggle with short course. But what do you think were some of the things that maybe helped you on the team when you got here get used to short course yards a little bit quicker?
I think we do a lot of fast swimming during practice. So we race a lot compared to like the training that I had would be maybe 2 practices easy, 1 practice with something hard. Whereas here you do something hard every day. So I think it's easier to get used to the length of the pool racing just because you do more of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
I
the
think
amount of turns especially.
yeah, it's because when you go from short course meters to yards, it's a little awkward because you're so used to like an amount of strokes and then turning using the same arm. And then once you get to short course yards, you usually have to do maybe half a stroke less or a whole stroke less. So maybe you have to turn using a different arm or breathe differently going into the turn. So it just feels like slightly off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's crazy Americans. What can I say? Yeah. So then coming out of midseason, this is something that I'm already starting to think about as a captain on the men's team, just kind of whatever happens going into midseason and, however people perform. I'm very optimistic. I think people are going to do really well. I'm feeling really good and I'm excited to see what I can do. And I think a lot of people are in that same boat. But when we do come out of midseason, I'm curious, what are some of the things that you as a captain are going to expect from the team? Because I've already been thinking about that for the boys.
I think after mid-season, because we work so hard leading up to that, and then it's a high pressure, intense meet, and I think everyone deserves to take a few days off, like 2 to 3 days, and then I think it's important to start looking forward to nationals and conference because we don't really have that much time after mid-season. We have some good training to do before Christmas, and then we have around 10 days where we're not here, and then we're going to Hawaii. And Hawaii, I think, is the most important training we do the whole year. So I think it's important to get ready for Hawaii.
I agree. I think it's really important right off the bat, like you said, to have a little bit of a grace period to kind of get over the first big competitive meet of the season, a couple days and whatever for people to chill and kind of regenerate. But I also think, like you said, it's important to start that attitude for Hawaii or winter training pretty early because, winter training is some of the hardest training that we do the entire year. Obviously, fall training is really hard because especially if you're in Reynolds group, he wants to build up your aerobic capacity. But yeah, so fall training is hard, but winter training is brutal. And it's important to go into winter training with that mentality of just going into it head first. And even though it's hard, it doesn't serve you well to go into winter training meekly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, you just got to kind of run into it and just go for it.
I think if you do the winter training well, if you give it all you got, you can get so much out of it. It can really improve your results for February and March by a whole lot.
Yeah.
If you make it as good as it can be, it's extremely rewarding.
It's a good time to get over some fears about certain things in practice. I'll say that it's a very good time. That's something that freshman year Hawaii really did for me. Because Reynolds was on me that whole time, all those IM practices, he was trying to get some good results out from me. And, I tried to take as much advantage of that as I could and just do the best that I could. And I think that really helped me. And I think if people do that going into Hawaii, I think it's going to produce some really good benefits, like you said, for February. But yeah, you just got to go into it head first and just keep plowing through no matter how hard or difficult it is, just can't back down because the results will be there.
Be extremely hard. because we don't usually, like during our fall training, it's very hard, but we also have school and like other things like work, applying for grad school, all of these other things. But when we go to Hawaii, it's swimming for almost 2 weeks, and it's extremely hard. It's just a really focused and challenging trip.
Yeah, it always irritated me when other people on the team would say, oh, you're on the swim team, you get to go to Hawaii for winter, and oh, it must be so horrible for you, and yeah. And it's like, well, yeah, it's pretty hard. It's like, we're not there on a vacation, I'll tell you that.
It is. We usually say in our apartment that you're dying in a beautiful place.
Dying in a beautiful, wow. Which that is a good quote. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm gonna have to use that. I hope you don't mind if I steal that.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I hope you have a great rest of your night.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to the DUSwimDive podcast. If you want to support your Panthers, feel free to click the link in the description below. I'm Andrew Rodriguez, and as always, go Panthers.